Extreme poverty is a cascading chain reaction of vulnerabilities. When one piece falls, it triggers a sequence of collapses across a person's life. Think about what happens when a community lacks basic electricity. Without light, study hours vanish. That drives up school dropout rates, which forces young people into precarious manual labor and leaves them exposed to exploitation and rights abuses. This is why standard, single-issue charity interventions often fall short. Dropping a microloan into that broken system treats a symptom. If the underlying web of vulnerabilities, like the lack of power and education, is left intact, that temporary financial boost is swallowed up by surrounding structural failures. In 2003, a non-governmental organization called the Samaj Unnayon Palli Sangstha, or Sdrs, was established in Bangladesh to approach this problem from an integrated angle. Instead of picking one sector to fix, they focus on needs-based development across multiple sectors simultaneously. By replacing the traditional charity model with a holistic ecosystem approach, Sdrs works to dismantle extreme poverty by building an interconnected machine of self-sufficiency. And the engine driving that machine starts with physical infrastructure. The first gear in the Sdrs ecosystem is stabilizing the physical environment. Before you can improve education or commerce in rural North Bengal, you have to end energy poverty. To do that, they bypassed the slow expansion of the traditional power grid. Instead, they installed over 500,000 independent solar home systems to bring reliable power directly to off-grid rural communities. That power generation scales up to the local agricultural economy as well. By installing solar irrigation pumps, Sdrs severs rural farmers' reliance on expensive and polluting diesel generators. They plan to bring 300 more of these solar pumps online by 2025, while simultaneously distributing biogas plants and improved cook stoves to replace toxic indoor burning. Within the Sdrs model, these renewable energy initiatives are the required physical catalysts that allow modern education and commerce to exist. Once the lights are on, the focus shifts to developing human capital. The organization specifically targets the most marginalized families through their Reaching Out-of-School Children program. They have established dozens of specialized schools tailored for children who have dropped out or are hard to reach. They also run inclusive education centers that provide assistive tools and physical therapy for children living with disabilities. Because those communities now have a stable energy supply, Sdrs can also operate technology-based digital schools, named Kishaloi, to ensure rural students are not left behind by the digital divide. But education alone cannot combat systemic exploitation. Through their Gender and Rights Development Project, Sdrs provides mediation and direct legal support to protect these newly educated citizens, especially women, from violence and discrimination. Without legal protection, an educated individual remains vulnerable to local exploitation. In this ecosystem, if physical energy provides the hardware of society, education and human rights provide the essential software. Ultimately, all of this infrastructure and education is aimed at a single objective: turning marginalized individuals into self-reliant entrepreneurs who no longer require external charity. This is where their microcredit local aid program steps in. It provides the soft financial capital required for these individuals to launch their own income-generating businesses. To ensure that capital is put to effective use, the Handicraft Native Enrichment Project has trained over 3,500 deprived women in specialized trades, like apparel manufacturing and traditional Nakshikatha embroidery, generating vital local employment. Yet, there is a hidden mechanism that keeps this entire machine running. Sdrs operates its own social enterprises, including a software solutions firm and local transport services. These generate independent revenue, meaning the NGO can survive and continue its work, even if external donor funding dries up. These economic models solve two major problems at once. They financially emancipate the local community while ensuring the organization facilitating that growth remains self-sustaining. This map of Bangladesh highlights Sdrs's impact. Across 35 districts, they've directly assisted 125,000 individuals, creating a ripple effect indirectly benefiting nearly 1 million nationwide. Now scaling to macro infrastructure, Plans include a waste-to-energy facility and a 50-megawatt solar plant to support the national grid. Their scope also continues to adapt to physical threats. Through their disaster preparedness program, they are fortifying these same communities against climate risks like droughts, flooding, and severe river erosion. The proof of this concept is that it is no longer confined to Bangladesh. The Sdrs model has proven successful enough to be exported internationally, operating as an officially registered NGO in Uganda since 2019. Extreme poverty is not a problem with a single solution, but as Sdrs proves, when you approach it with a comprehensive, interconnected ecosystem of energy, education, and economics, it becomes a solvable equation.